I am having my third surgery in 15 months on the same part of my body in 4 days. If you've been here for a little bit, you may know that last May I had a hysterectomy and I had some other repairs done. I suspect that I have Ehlers-Danlos, and so I had some prolapsing issues and I needed to get a hysterectomy because of this, but my surgeon pressured me into getting a mid-urethral sling placed. This is a medical device that is put in for women who are having incontinence, which I was not struggling with, but when your uterus falls into a spot where it's not supposed to be, sometimes that can mess with your bladder. So it was prophylactically placed under the suggestion of my surgeon, who I am no longer under the care of. Since getting that placed, I have been completely disabled by this. I've done a couple health check-ins, but this has completely, I don't want to say this has completely ruined my life, but it has completely altered my life, and it has disabled me in a way where I have not been able to be the mother that I want to be. I've not been able to show up to you guys the way I wanted to be. I've struggled to maintain my other job outside of this, and it has been an uphill battle mentally and physically. 3 months after my original surgery, I went back in to have the tension on the mid-urethral sling cut to release that because I was not able to empty my bladder. That did help quite a bit, but since then I've had nothing but flare up after flare up after flare up. And when the lower half of your body just doesn't work, there's not much you can do. You don't get to travel. You can't go hang out with friends or go for a long walk or anything like that. And I have been going back and forth with my new surgeon on whether or not I wanted to have surgery and have the medical device removed. And we came to the conclusion after the last really big flare up that I've pretty much just been stuck in for months now, that it's time for it to be removed. It's not serving a purpose. And in fact, it's causing potentially adhesions and damage into that area of my body because my body is rejecting it. I think women don't really talk about these things as much as they should, although I'm really proud of some of the younger generations for being a lot more candid and open about it. But I wanted to come on here and explain to you guys kind of what I've been going through, because there are times where I can't get out of bed for 8 to 10 hours at a time, and I'm just struggling to even mentally think through getting anything done. I've been renovating my garden one small piece at a time. And if you're somebody who has chronic illness, you probably understand that when you're in a flare and the low is low, you can't do anything. But as soon as you get a small little piece of energy, you're out there overdoing it. And that has been the cycle that I've been going through. I have never been in this amount of pain for such a prolonged amount of time in my entire life. And I've given birth to 3 babies. I have really struggled with kind of being a more angry person, being more bitter, being more negative, because the pain is just unmanageable at this point. I really don't want to get surgery again. I have so much medical trauma. I've had so many doctors and staff just be borderline abusive to me, and I think that is pretty standard with women. I don't want to go through the process of surgery. I don't want to step foot into a surgery center. I am also having a suprapubic catheter placed, which is basically a stoma in a different opening of your body that they make, just so I don't have to have any more catheters after this surgery if for some reason I'm not able to empty my bladder. I'm really nervous about that, but it's really the best option that I have. I'm hoping that I'm able to move around after surgery with the suprapubic catheter. It's been very difficult for me to find people who have this or have had it placed, and it's going to be hopefully a very temporary thing for me. But I think that it's been something that's been very hard for me to accept, that this is what's happening. I have not even told a lot of people in my own life that I'm having surgery again, because I feel like everyone is so sick of me talking about being sick. So I have been kind of suffering in silence, although I do have close friends and family that are doing what they can to support me, and I'm so thankful for this. And I feel pretty good about my new surgeon and his staff and the hospital that I'm going to be at. But at the end of the day, I guess it sounds silly, but I don't want to slow down again. I spent so much time down after my last 2 surgeries that I felt like I just got back to a place where I'm human again, and here I am having the surgery again. There's also no guarantee that this will fix all of the problems that I'm having, because there's no way for us to know if it's just this medical device or if it's more complications from the original surgery or if it's anything that can actually be fixed. I don't know if I'll be incontinent after this surgery. I don't know if there's more damage. I'm going under anesthesia and I have no idea what I'm waking up to. And it's very hard to be in a really, it's very hard to be in a positive place to be like, you know, this is gonna fix me. I'm gonna will it to be. And I really despise when people say, you know, don't have negative thinking, because that's just not gonna help. But at the end of the day, like, I'm living my life hour by hour and I'm doing my best to create a garden space for myself that I can come out and relax in. That's why I've been working so hard on this. It's not just for content creation. And I don't talk as much about myself and my personal life on here with you guys, but I do see a lot of you as friends and a community for myself. So it has been harder and harder for me to put out informative content and not talk about what it is I have going on. I have a 16-year-old that just got her license and started driving and is in marching band and super busy. I have a 13-year-old that just started a new sport and is also in band, and I have a 5th grader, so I have 3 kids at 3 different schools right now, and I'm just drowning in trying to keep up with it and being in the stage of being a mom with teenagers. I was a teen mom, so I don't have any other moms that are my age in the area that have teenagers. They are all much older than me and have their lives much more put together, at least on the surface from what I see. So I am just kind of isolated out on this island here, just drowning in this, drowning in medical issues, and really trying to just find a little bit of peace outside in the garden. And I don't know if this video is going to be relatable to anybody, but I want everyone to know that I fought really, really hard to get better care and find a new surgeon and defend myself and stand up for myself and not be gaslit. And I really regret getting my original surgery because it has changed my life so much. But I'm going to get this other surgery in hopes that I can have a chance at least a little bit less pain, and I can show up for everybody in my life and show up for myself a little bit more. I just wanted to clue everybody in as to what's going on. My assistant is helping me post on Patreon, so I will be active on there as well if I'm not making videos for a few weeks on here, but I will come on and give an update as to how everything is going after I get out of surgery and kind of become human again in the next week. Thanks so much for supporting me over the last few years. I don't think some of you realize how much saying something nice in my comments or sending me a message about a success that you've had because of some advice that I gave you in the garden really means to me, but it really does mean a lot. So I appreciate you guys being here and listening to this whole video.